This is the big match we've all been waiting for. Is Ted Lasso Season 3, Episode 4 worth the wait? Let's find out now. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watcher Pass, and I'm here to talk to you about Ted Lasso Season 3, Episode 4, titled Big Week, which is premiering on April 5th, 2023. It is the fourth episode in Season 3. It's finally the build to the big Richmond West Ham United showdown, and is it worth the wait? Well, let's find out now. My hot take is, look, I definitely think you should watch it, despite the fact that I didn't love the actual game itself. This is another good classic Ted Lasso episode. There's a lot of humor, there's a lot of heart, and there's a lot more emotional growth. So I'm going to tell you a little more about the episode, a few things I liked, one thing I didn't like, and in doing that, I will go into the ending. So as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in the thing I didn't like. But you know what? I'll give you a heads up before that happens. You can turn it off. I'll keep it vague before that. So, like I said, in Ted Lasso Season 3, Episode 4, Big Week, you have the build-up to the Richmond FC West Ham United game. They are both vying for the top of the Premier League. They are, if whoever wins will go to the top. Thanks to Zava, Richmond FC is now a viable player in the Premier League, and thanks to Nate's genius, West Ham United are a viable player. So this is a big match that could define the fate of either team and their overall trajectory this season. So things I liked about this episode. The first, I liked the emotion. This is a very emotional episode. As you can imagine, it's a build-up to a big game. There is a lot going on, and that leads to some extra emotion in this episode. I really like how it's trying to kind of like build up the characters, build up some of the kind of gravity of this game. But it's not just the game. There's also some emotion in some scenes after the game, which I thought were really, really nice as well. There's especially a lot of emotional growth in the second thing I liked, which is, I'll call it Ted growth. Ted is really kind of growing into his own. He's always been the head coach, but I feel like this episode he is starting to kind of act more like the head coach. He started to kind of take more control of the team. And in this episode specifically, he has some strong opinions that his assistants don't agree with. So I like seeing that. I like seeing Ted kind of take on the mantle of head coach and kind of wear it really well. And there's also some emotional growth for Ted personally in this episode that I really liked as well. And the last thing I liked is, look, it's got soccer. There is a build to the big game. I was worried that maybe the big game wouldn't happen, but you know what? The big game happens. You've got the build up, and then you have the match itself. So things I didn't love as much, and again, there will be spoilers here. So if you don't know what happens in this episode, you don't want to know the kind of the big twist or the big conclusion, then I would turn it off now. Just know that Ted Lasso Season 3, Episode 4 is on HBO Max starting on April 5th, 2023. So in the AFC Richmond versus West Ham United match, it's fairly even up at the front. There's some chances that are missed. There's some chances that are saved. It's 0-0 until right before the half when West Ham scores, and then they go up 1-0. And then Nate calls this tricky play that is essentially a full press that throws Richmond off. Richmond is expecting to just kind of like walk into halftime. They're not. The full press happens, they lose the ball, and now West Ham is up 2-0 right before half. And now they're going into half. Everyone is dejected. Everyone is sad. And the assistants, namely Beard and Roy, decide that they are going to show the team the video of Nate tearing down the belief sign and ripping it in half that happened at the end of season 2. And so they all discovered this because the team found out that the sign had been ripped and they were kind of upset about it. And looking at the footage, the coaches realized it was Nate. And the two assistants wanted to show this to the team. Ted didn't want it to happen. Ted didn't want them to show it earlier. But they kind of make the call at halftime without asking Ted, and they show them the video. This understandably fires at the team. Everyone is angry. You think that maybe everyone's going to play more focused, but no, everyone plays reckless. They late challenges, red cards all around. They get like 4 red cards. It is a debacle, and AFC Richmond ends up losing horribly. They lose 4-1, even though Zava gets to score right at the end. They still lose 4-1, which I guess is okay. But I didn't love that the team just kind of like went berserk. It wasn't very funny to me. Like, it was just kind of silly to have them like do late challenges. I don't know. I feel like they would know that the team is more important. I wish it would have fired them up and they would have played well, and then maybe at the end something else would have happened, some sort of like tactical genius by Nate or something, or some sort of screw up to have them lose if they're supposed to lose anyways. I didn't love that they like started just doing reckless tackles and playing kind of ridiculous soccer as a result of it, because it just made that last half just not very interesting to me. But West Ham wins, AFC Richmond loses. But then after the match, Ted has a call with his ex-wife about some issues that he has been having, some like things that have been bugging him. I really like this. I really like that Ted is starting to kind of like take charge of his emotions and express them more. And this whole episode felt like some growth for Ted. Like he kind of established that his idea to not show them the video was a good one, and it would have, maybe they still would have lost, but at least they wouldn't have lost so recklessly. And now he's starting to kind of like speak more freely about what he wants and trying to like come to terms with what he wants and how he kind of is approaching his emotions and approaching like his pain and things like that. So all in all, I liked it. I liked the end. I liked kind of Ted's last speech, and I think this is a good episode overall, despite me not liking the actual soccer, which is usually the big draw for me in these Ted Lasso shows. So that is Ted Lasso season 3, episode 4. Big week. It's coming to Apple TV Plus on April 5th, 2023. Definitely think you should check it out. And thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.